I'm Megan Piper, and for my research project, I did it on Stryker Corporation. So now before I start, I just want to set the foundation here and ask 3 simple questions to each and every one of you. My first question is, how many of you are familiar with Stryker, know anything about it? Oh, okay. And then my second one is, how many of you can name some medical device companies? No? Okay. And then my third and final question is, how many of you have been to the hospital or clinic or doctor's office as a patient or a visitor? Mostly everyone. Okay, awesome. Well, then this will be perfect. So first I'm going to give you a brief history on Stryker Corporation, and then I'm going to get into the company's products, what they offer, and then also touch a little bit on the employment opportunities and the corporate culture. And then after that I'll go into the future direction of Stryker and also touch on my research project I did. So this is Dr. Homer Stryker. He, of course, obviously started the company. Dr. Homer Stryker started off as a general practitioner, and after that he realized he wanted to go into something more specific, so he chose orthopedics. While being in orthopedics, he realized day to day that he would be using these tools that he just felt like weren't up to their full efficiency or could be bettered and innovated. So what did he do? He became totally proactive with it, and he went about his way to design and build his own machines and stuff. So his first invention was the wedge turning frame bed. So this, of course, bettered and eased the workday for both patients and for the medical staff. And then his second invention, it was a late night brainstorm session, and it's the oscillating saw, which we know it better as the cast cutter. And so in 1941 he started Stryker Corporation. He left his medical practice to pursue being an entrepreneur and doing this. So then we're going to get into some of the products. So Stryker currently is in these divisions for products. So it's orthopedics, spine, craniomaxillofacial, trauma, endoscopy, OR equipment and connectivity, so that's for the operating room, foot and ankle, surgical instruments, patient handling, EMS and evacuation equipment, and orthobiologics. So really, Stryker's part of your full experience at the hospital. It's the stretcher that's going into the ambulance, it's the screws that are going in your foot, it's the recliner that your mom's sitting on in the hospital bed, it's the implants that's going into your shoulder, it's there for every step of the way. Now the employment and culture, Stryker has a lot of great opportunities for employment. You can do anything from sales, inside, outside sales, and you can do anything from being an engineer and designing the products, and you can be financing. They have everything, so it's a great company to join. And also their corporate culture I find really admirable because they really pride themselves on diversity. They think that people coming together from different backgrounds, different ideas, they come together and they make something bigger than any of them can imagine. So I think that's really honorable that they definitely pride themselves on diversity as their corporate culture. Next, we're going to get into the future direction of Stryker. So the last 35 years, they have had a continual annual sales growth. So really with medical device sales, they're just going to keep going up from here, I think. That's my personal opinion. And their annual sale last year was $9.9 billion. So I think they're just going to continue to grow because as long as there's medical field, health field, we're going to continue making products that help doctors and surgeons with this. And so as long as we keep on taking care of each other, we're going to need these kind of companies around, I believe. And so then after that, we are going to get into my research study. So in the beginning, I asked you guys 3 questions. The first one being, are you familiar with the company Stryker Corp? The second one was, how many medical device companies can you name? And then the third one was, have you ever been in a hospital as either a patient or a visitor? So I took those 3 questions and I asked 10 college students. They're all from totally different backgrounds, majors, minors, and I asked them those same 3 questions. And this is what these were the results. So for the first question, are you familiar with the company Stryker? Out of the 10, 2 of them knew of Stryker. So I gave them half circles because they kind of knew of the company. They didn't know what it did or anything like that. And then for the second question, how many medical device companies can you name? It was a unanimous 0. No one could name any medical device companies. And for the third question, have you ever been in a hospital as either a patient or a visitor? It was all 10, unanimous 10 yeses. We have been in the hospital as either a patient and a visitor. So I thought that was crazy because after doing research on Stryker, I realized how important medical device companies are, and I think they're simply too important to not know about them, because they're there taking care of you at the hospital or doctor's office or clinic, whatever it may be, and we don't even know the company to give recognition to. See, we know Apple, Starbucks, Nike, we can name millions of products from them, but we can't name the company that made that couch that my family's sitting on in the waiting room in the hospital. We can't name the screws that are going into your foot for your broken bone. And I just find that crazy that we can't recognize those companies when they're... So with that, I think that these companies are simply way too important, and the future direction of my research would be how to gain recognition for these companies, and I think if just doctors' offices made more pamphlets and posters about them, just so people can just get the brand recognition from it. So working for this organization, I think it's totally rewarding, part of a medical care experience, and great employment and company culture. So I would definitely consider working for Stryker Corporation. I think it's such a rewarding field to go into. And so yeah, thank you guys. You guys have any questions?